you gotta do what you gotta do. If you've got chafing issues, yep, get it in there.
Look how beautiful these creations are.
Feed roll technology, so you can kind of see that they have this curvature that kind of helps you spring forward. For a lack of a better way to put it, I'm kind of falling in love with running. Hammy. Oh my God. I'm just kidding. Welcome back. Episode 3, marathon training. As you saw in the last episode, episode 2, I had pulled my hamstring and I want to come at you with a little update. So it turns out when I pulled my hamstring, I thought it was way worse than I thought it was. So I went through everything that I showed you on episode 2 through the recovery methods and everything, and I started to feel like I could start to run again. I started implementing different exercises, whether it was squats, RDLs, whatever it may have been, and I started to feel I would definitely test it, and I don't by any means recommend you coming back from injury this fast. All right, you know what? I feel like I gotta sit down to explain this story. We'll go back to where we started with episode 2 here on the couch with me and my good buddy Juju. So, as the story goes, I pulled my hamstring. It went a lot better than expected. The recovery methods absolutely helped. And now we are in week 5 of this episode of marathon training. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense, but what I meant to say was week 5, episode 3. They don't really add up, but we're gonna roll with it. With that said, I have been running this week. It's now Thursday. I've been running a little bit, testing the hamstring. The first day I went super slow back into it, a 10-minute pace on the first little 5K on Monday. Then I went into a 7-mile run the next day, kind of tested the cardio, tested the hammy. Definitely felt it a little bit. And then I got into a 4-mile run yesterday before a couple of photo shoots, really just to get the blood flowing. Today, we're gonna run through how I prepare for a quote-unquote long run. Today, I'm just gonna go for 10 miles, test the cardio again, and I wanna show you how I prepare for a run. It's not gonna be a long vlog, but I wanna show you kind of what goes into it, and I wanna also take you to my shoe collection because I'll soon be adding to it, and I found that I have a new obsession in the technology that goes into running shoes. And for a lack of a better way to put it, I'm kind of falling in love with running. All right, I feel like I can stand up and talk now. I'm having a really hard time with words today. So let's get into it. Let's go with the first thing that I'm gonna do before this run. This is probably how I'm gonna keep this protocol the rest of this marathon training and into race day with one of our recovery methods. And that is this icy hot CBD-ish cream, whatever I use. Showed you in the last video, but I'm gonna apply this, kind of get some cold and heat going in through that muscle just to start kind of activating before I go on the run. Also, definitely gonna be using this for the chafe. All right, here we are again. I know you're getting a show just like last episode, but I gotta show you how I'm doing this because the hamstring actually goes all the way down the posterior part of your body, which is the posterior chain. So it actually comes back down in here through the knee. So I'm gonna really rub the back side of my knee. If you're having knee tightness, it could be a hamstring issue. Tight through the hamstrings, and then I'm just gonna act like I'm touching my toes to get that nice stretch through the hamstring and rub as hard as I can, almost like it's a massage. And as I say this, I'm realizing how incredibly hilarious this sounds or may look on camera from the outside looking in. Speaking of hilarious, here we go. This is gonna look incredibly wrong from the backside, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you've got chafing issues, yep, get it in there. Well, I don't know if this is YouTube rated, but if you have chafing issues, this is probably the best stuff ever known to man. It's called Camois butter, and thick thighs save lives, but so does Camois butter. I just realized I said but while I was rubbing it for the purpose of a butt. Well, kind of a butt. Same area. All right, that's enough. All right, next, I want to show you and tell you what I'm wearing because this is preference, especially for the longer runs and with my bum hamstring. So I actually have a pair of compression spandex on underneath a set of Leisure Lab mesh shorts that are actually 2-in-1. They have this nice liner, but I love these shorts because they have the pockets, which I can stick my phone in, and I find that I run better when my phone is actually in my pockets and I'm not holding it and creating that tension, which we could go over another time, but when you create tension, you're making it harder. When you're squeezing, you're putting extra energy in other places. Anyways, so I like this, and I also like it for my goo packets, which I'll show you in a second what those are. But again, why the compression? I'm trying to keep as much blood into that hamstring as possible, so the compression is really gonna help. So that's what I go with on the lower half. I'm not gonna go anything on the upper half because it's hot outside and I kind of want to get some sun. So speaking of compression, I need to go get my socks.
Here we go. So usually I would also film in here, but you see how this weird like lighting goes? I don't know what the heck goes. I just try to stay out of my room for filming. So I am gonna go with my Balega socks, nice and compressed. I'm actually gonna go 2 pairs of socks today, and I'll tell you why in a second.
All right, so 2 pairs of socks. I got both of these off of Amazon, but both of them are gonna be a compression sock. I'm not exactly sure what these are called, but they're extra compression through the arch of my feet. It kind of helps me keep the blood flowing through my feet so my feet don't start to hurt with all the running and the impact. I've definitely started to notice that, but these are super, super thin. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody really, but I would probably just go with these Balega socks, B-A-L-E-G-A. They're basically the same thing, but a higher sock, and they kind of keep the compression at the top, so it kind of rids of that, what do you call it, shin splints. Half the time, I don't know why I said why, what do you call it, when we obviously all know what shin splints are. But again, I wouldn't really recommend going the double sock for everyone, but I noticed that this helps me a little bit, so I'm a weirdo. I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna put both of these on. The Balega socks also have that kind of technology to support the arch of your foot, so that's another added benefit. Obviously, I have 2 compression socks essentially on. They might get a little hot over the 10 miles, but I did it for my 19-mile run the day before I pulled my hamstring, so I think if I can handle 19, I should be all right with 10. I also just realized I don't have a couch cushion over there. That's because my little friend Juju, I don't know if you can see her from this angle, but she decided to have a little accident and I was washing the couch cushion. Anyways. Hello, little friend. Hi. Can you say hi? Hi. Hello. And there's her accident-prone cushion. So the socks, here's what these little guys look like. These are my little toesies. But again, could be complete marketing, but you see the technology for the arch of the foot. Juju's trying to get in here, but again, pretty helpful for me with my flat feet. I mean, they're not that flat, but they help. All right, next, I'm gonna go grab my shoe collection because they are in my room, and again, the lighting was all crazy in my room, so I'm gonna bring them out here, talk on them out here, tell you which ones I'm gonna take on the run today, and keep going with this preparation video.
Look how beautiful these creations are. So I'm gonna run through each pair, kind of give you a breakdown of what they are and what their purpose is as far as my understanding goes, because again, I'm still getting used to this whole running thing.
So, shoe number 1 right here, this is the Saucony, whatever you want to call me, Endorphin Speed 3s. So, these are actually the Endorphin Speed 2s. Originally my favorite shoe ever. I actually still like the 2s better than the 3s, but basically both of them have this speed roll technology, so you can kind of see that they have this curvature that kind of helps you spring forward. So you're focusing on that mid-foot strike and it kind of propels you forward a little. This one's a little bit narrower through the toe box than the 3. So it kind of is a little bit tighter of a squeeze. My feet fit to those a little bit better than the wider toe box, but I still do love the 3s. These are a little lighter, honestly, in my opinion, than the 2s, but again, they both have a carbon fiber plate, which, again, if you're looking into running, I have been told, I don't know if this is fact, but that you shouldn't really be training all that often in a carbon plated shoe because you're kind of taking the impact away a little bit. I don't really know the exact reasoning, but that's what I was told and that's what I'm going to run with. So I kind of strategize on my runs based on that. So anyways, carbon fiber plates with those. These two do not have carbon fiber plates. So I'll hit on these really quick. These are Flux footwear, Flux. These are my favorite shoe. These are their running shoe. I haven't actually run in them, but they have this super nice mesh upper material so that allows really nice support with, or kind of like flexibility for your foot. And then the top of the shoe with the laces is really supportive actually, and then really good grip on the bottom. There's kind of a narrower arch, so you almost get arch support from the shoe itself. These are my favorite probably walking shoes right now. I don't really ever walk in running shoes because they're used for running, but these also have this like technology that are almost like Tempur-Pedic, and they massage you. I don't know if you can see in there, but they have like little hexagons. I don't know if the camera's gonna focus or not. If not, you're out of luck. But they do, they have this little self-massaging technology. Really like those just for walking, but this is a running video, so we're gonna talk about running. This is my shoe for really, really long runs. So I've done my 14 miler, I've done a 12 miler, I've done a couple 10 milers and the 19 miler, and these, they look like spaceships. They are huge with the midsole, so much cushion. These are the original shoe. I did a podcast on them actually, the mental health version, which I love, and probably one of the reasons why I'm running this marathon. But they are the New Balance Fresh Foam X-More V4. It's a mouthful. Whoever named them really wanted to rhyme, and they must have been a poet. So that's besides the point. These are really great for probably I guess they were my first shoe. These do not have a carbon plate. Again, when I was told when I'm training, I kind of want to get used to the impact, so having as much cushion as possible, especially on those longer runs, is going to be great. Again, the use for these two shoes is more of a faster run, more of a recovery run, flush run, / threshold run, which would be more like testing your pace and trying to flush out all of maybe some soreness. So those are really the three that I've been cycling with before I got these bad boys, and these are the Nike Vaporfly 2s. They were on sale because the Nike Vaporfly 3 just came out, but holy cannoli, freaking love these things. If you can't tell, I have an obsession with the crazy colors, so I went with the black. I didn't have any black, and had the purple and orangish pink on the bottom. But again, these are super lightweight up top. They're like the Flyknit, breathable, like I can see through them. Really like this detailing of the Nike. And then if you can tell, they're super narrow through the midsection as well. So again, kind of that same idea as these Flux footwear, you're gonna get a little bit more arch support. So if you can tell, they're also very pointy. They've got that kind of flex foam, not the same thing. It's called their Zoom X technology, but basically that speed roll technology. It's super cushiony, but also allows for that spring forward to be faster on your longer runs. These are actually a very popular favorite for pro marathon runners to run their actual marathons in. I'm not gonna be running my marathon in these. I actually have the Nike Alpha Fly 3s coming in, which I'm sure you'll see in a later video, but my birthday is also the 29th of April, so I'm getting those on my birthday, and it's not the 29th of April yet, but once I do, you'll see them in a video. Holy shnikes, that was a lot of talking. Are you bored yet?
So I'm gonna get these bad boys on. I'm just giving you a little closer look. You can see the pointed action. That's super tight top. You can see through them a little bit. They've got this super incredible detail right here with that. You can't really even tell how incredible it is, but I want to get these on. I believe I almost forgot. I just got these brand new Oakley Sutro S sunglasses. They have the Road Prism lenses, which basically just kind of amplifies everything, but these things are super sweet and pretty excited. They'll be really good for runs and cycling whenever my bike decides to come back, or I just buy a new one. All right, last but certainly not least, when it comes to preparation, you should think about food. If you're gonna run a longer distance, or you just maybe new to running and you feel like you need fuel, I like to carb load the day before, or even 2 days before. Today, I've actually only had a little bit to eat. Usually I would be running earlier, but it's actually 4 p.m.
I usually run after my workout. I did work out this morning at about 7 a.m., but I didn't eat till about 2, and I had a pound of lean ground turkey and 2 rice cakes. So I've had it to sit a while. If you saw my first video, you know that I don't like to run with anything on my stomach. I think I've had enough time to let it do its thing, but whether you want to run on a full stomach or not, if you are going to eat, I suggest carbs because you will burn it off super fast. And with that said, and also high protein just because that's going to help your muscles function. But with that said, I do want to show you what I like to take for my longer runs and my hydration. So I'm going to show you that.
First, I always take these no matter what day it is, especially for runs. Some run days I'll take 2 scoops. It's the EAAs and BCAAs from Performix. Use code NICK30 to get 30% off, but it's a hydration supplement, has some electrolytes and the branched chain amino acids to help your muscles function. That's number 1. Next one I will take is these little rapid rehydrate capsules I got off of Amazon. Basically just replenishing all of your essential electrolytes. That's number 2. Number 3 is GOO. And I bought the huge variety assorted fruit pack. There was 35 in them. Basically, all this is an energy gel, but when it says energy gel, it's kind of the same thing as these with the amino acids, but also has 20 milligrams of caffeine, sodium in there, and it's basically just carbs. So really good to take while you're running. If you're kind of hitting that mark of exhaustion, it'll definitely kick in and kick your butt into gear. So for today, I'm going to take 1 of these with me. I'll probably hit it at about mile 6 towards the end of it. I usually don't take it for a longer run or anything under 10 miles, but since we're doing 10 on the dot today, I want to kind of train my cardio and my system to get used to it, because once it comes marathon time, I'm gonna need to use these things quite frequently, probably 3 or 4 of them. All right, and lastly, my pre-run routine. I'm not gonna show you all of these, but I go through a little leg swing series. So I come up against the wall, I first start with I start this way, facing forward, and I just leg kick. So I'm just letting that come through. Well, I'm gonna hit the back door, all the way up, all the way back, just kind of letting the leg be free. I go 15 here, switch it around, go to the other side, then I go with a lateral kick. So I'll face the wall, hips facing forward, ground through this leg, and I'll take this ankle straight up. 15 times, just trying to really open up the hips. Then I will go into one last leg swing series, which is just straight across and then opening up. Again, I'm gonna knock something out and kill somebody, but it kind of comes open with a transverse plane, kick through. Ideally, you're doing this outside and your mom doesn't yell at you. I don't know why I said your mom. I know my audience, and there's not really anybody under the age of 14 that watches my videos. So again, that's 15 on each. I really just go through it one time. Then sometimes if I'm feeling frisky, I'll do some ankle rotations, just going clockwise and counterclockwise, about 20 each way. And then I'm ready to go. If I'm really feeling it, I'll get some knee hugs, some butt pulls, well, toe pulls, quad pulls, whatever you want to call them. Sometimes I'll throw in a reach. But for today's purposes, I'm not going to take the camera out there because I have an ND filter that I need for that, and it seems to be misplaced at the moment. However, with that said, that is all I have for you today. I know I said it was going to be a quick one. I'm sure it's going to end up being an hour and a half long, but I hope there was some kind of value you could take from my shoe collection and the technology in the shoes, as well as just kind of my getting going on my run every single day. It's literally what I do before every single run, and minus the goo on like anything under the 10 miles, because I already said that and I'm just repeating myself. But that is episode 3 for you. A little update on the Hammy shoe collection and pre-run routine. We'll get into episode 4 next week. I appreciate you watching. If you don't mind, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're the first one to see my videos. I'm gonna go on this run, drain myself, come home, eat. I'll see you next time. Have an awesome freaking day, and don't forget to smile.